So what if the biggest retirement mistake happens before you even retire? You know, you hear from a lot of people, hey, just work a little bit longer, save a little bit more money, it'll all work out. But what if I told you that for people over the age of 50, working longer doesn't fix the problem, it actually just hides it? So what if the real danger isn't retiring too early, but actually being forced to work at something you absolutely hate? That's what this video is about. Look, this isn't a personal failure on your part. This is an economic structural shift that's affecting all of us. You see, more retirees are working today in retirement more than any other time in modern history. They enjoy the work, it keeps them sharp, it gives them a purpose. That's great. But for many people, they aren't choosing it. They're getting quietly, slowly pushed into it because the retirement math just isn't working out. Longer retirements, inflation, healthcare costs, and career interruptions after the age of 50. Put together, those pressures create a trap. You see, the problem isn't working during your retirement. That's great. But being forced to work is the problem. You see, there are two very different paths that look almost identical from the outside. You planned ahead, you tested your numbers, you built in some flexibility, and you worked because you wanted to. Path two, you assumed things would work out. You trusted the estimates provided you by somebody else. And then life interrupted your income. And now you're forced into taking whatever job you can, not because it's the job you want, but quite frankly, because you need the money. So, two stories, same age, but an absolutely different reality. So as you think about retirement, think about this. The absolute worst time to try and figure out substitute or alternate incomes is when you're desperate. Most people don't plan for forced work. They plan for best case scenarios. But here's the truth that no one tells you. The absolute worst time to figure out income options is when that paycheck stops. Your energy is lower, your options are fewer, and the leverage you had from your previous career is gone. When those three things happen, you end up settling, not choosing the job you want to have. So when it comes to your retirement, this is when the real damage happens. Let me show you something that most people never see coming in their lives. Social Security doesn't look at your best intentions. It looks at your 35 highest earning years. Now, imagine two careers. The same start, the same effort, and the same peak salary you're on track to earn. But in one of those examples, life intervenes. In the steady career path, you started out at an $18,000 annual salary. Remember those days? And over the next 40 years, it was up and to the right, and you ended up with a $100,000 annual salary. Social Security calculates your average income at $63,000. Now, we have the second example. Caregiving, illness, job loss, whatever, but a few years of zero income. You started out at $18,000, working your way up to $100,000, but at year 33 through 37, you show zero income. Those 0 years don't disappear. They replace those higher earning years and they kick them out permanently. So that now Social Security says your average income over those 40 years was $54,000. Social Security doesn't know why your income dropped. It only records that it did. Now that drop is permanent. It affects your benefit, and then remember, it also affects your spouse's benefit and then the survivor benefit. Add all that together and it's well over a 6-figure loss. This isn't about blame. It's about understanding the damage before it's locked in. So when you get the advice, just work longer, more years don't always equate into more security. So sometimes we'll tell ourselves, don't worry, right? I'll just work longer. But you see, working longer doesn't replace those lost high earning years. You know what? It just adds more stress. And if those later years are lower earning, part-time, require a lot more energy, guess what? The damage is already done. So this is where a side income is really so often misunderstood. This is really looking to protect your future. This isn't about grinding. It's not about driving an Uber. It's not about stocking shelves at the local grocery store. Think of it rather as salary insurance. Having a side income after the age of 50 can prevent the permanent damage that zero income years can have. You see, even a modest income can protect your earning record, preserve your options, buy time, and reduce the pressure on your other sources of income. It's not about earning more, it's about avoiding an irreversible loss. So think about working in your retirement. For most of us, we forget that dignity matters more than dollars. Think of your definition of what a good retirement job looks like for you. Good retirement work, it has rules. It respects your body. It respects your time. It uses your previous experience. It slows down when you want, and it helps to keep you engaged. So to be clear, this isn't about working forever. It's about not being trapped. So as you think about your retirement plan, you don't need a perfect plan. So few of us actually get that perfect plan. What you need is clarity as you consider options. So you see, in subsequent videos, we're going to walk through this calmly and step by step. We'll look at what retirement actually costs. We'll look at what income assumptions are most likely to break, how to stress test your financial and retirement plan, and how real retirees are using their side income not as a hustle, but to stay in control. Look, this isn't fear. This is preparation. So visualize yourself in retirement. Working by choice is freedom. Working because of fear is not. Working in retirement can be a gift, but only if it's your choice. The mistake is waiting until choice is gone. So if you're over 50, the goal isn't to stop working. The goal is not to be trapped in a choice that you didn't even want. That's what we're building here at Brain Flash.